Hi, everybody. Welcome to TableTakes Game Night. We're going to be playing Tiny Taverns. Noir is not on board. We have already played Tiny Dungeon using the Tiny D6 system, but think of this as like one of the evolutions, sort of like an expansion pack, or rather, its own successor to Tiny Dungeon. This is a slice of life fantasy role playing game. So we're still going to be playing in a fantasy world using fantasy characters and fantasy themes, but we'll be playing a little bit on a lower scale of epicness. Combat is very rare in a system like this. Everyone here is playing a retired adventurer who owns a tavern or takes part in the ownership of a tavern. While we're playing today, we're actually going to be creating the tavern, and then we're going to introduce our characters to everyone, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for you all to see this, and I hope that Gallant Knight Games sees this. Thank you so much for selling this to me at Gen Con this year. I can't wait for other people to try it out too. I hope it catches on. First thing I really just want to quickly mention, Tiny Taverns, this book has so much content in it. I could probably run it for like a year, maybe more than that. I mean, they've got rules on anything that you could think of. So if you're looking for something with like a ton of content in it, if you like what we played today, definitely check out Drive-Thru RPG, where the Gallant Knight Games has this listing, not only for PDF, but for soft and hardcover. If you want to get a whole bundle together, get it all, digital and physical. All right, enough of it. I am your GM, Smith, and I am joined by my co-hosts, the wonderful players today. We have Bonsai Baby, Noir Enigma, and the God King, Marcus Maze. So happy to have...
Is this the one I'm not going to die in? Because it doesn't seem like there's like a real easy death in this game. Is this the one where I'm going to survive?
You're very lucky, Marcus. It is very difficult for me to kill you in this game.
Yes! Yes!
But it's not no.
No, because if that's you did back that as seen on by the town crier from TableTakes on Kickstarter, so you could probably add something to kill me in here if you want.
I've got plenty of exciting things for you today. A lot of surprises that I've cooked up for you. Speaking of which, let's cook up a tavern. So, part of the rules in this game detail creating a tavern together. I'm going to skip through the hours that it would have taken for us to create this tavern together, and I'm just going to give you all a bunch of yes or no, or rather, what's the word I'm looking for? This or that questions. Okay. Choose your own adventure of sorts for creating your tavern together. Sound good?
Sounds great, Javion. Thank you.
So, for your tavern, and this is a broad definition of the word tavern, it could mean a lot of different things. You could have a haunted hotel, or you could have a magical tavern filled with wonder and mystery in that sense. So you want to go spooky, or do we want to go more mystical? And it's a group decision.
Bonsai's got some ideas, and I will say, as a member of the group, I would like to hear what Bonsai has to say.
Magic. Magic.
Bonsai's all in on magic.
A magic tavern?
Magic tavern.
I'm going to give you some more options. But yes, this magic tavern, one of the staples, one of the draws to your tavern is that it's filled with magic. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty details in a bit. But we're going to keep that in mind. We have a magical tavern. Okay. Next up. Do you want to be in a very secluded area, sort of remote from civilization, remote from cities and towns? You're still going to be underground like you were in the last game of Tiny Dungeon, in that underground city of Amber, where it's basically the reverse dungeon kind of feel, where there's a dungeon at the top of the hill, but you all live down here. The dungeon is just to keep all the adventurers out. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to be in this sort of secluded area, or would you rather be in an airship or some sort of floating tavern?
Can we have our bar in the dungeon?
That is a good idea. What does everybody think?
There's a lot of hidden walls in games like Elden Ring, where you can like slash a wall and there's a secret magical treasure trove of stuff. So if this was a magical concealed dungeon or magical concealed bar, I think that having it inside the dungeon as like a wink, wink. If you know, that's where the location is. I think that's kind of awesome. But
Also, dungeon creatures need a drink too.
yeah, where rats? Where rats need
Were-rats.
drinks? Like they need to be able to drink.
They have a strict diet to maintain those abs. So
Okay. So are we going with a tavern, a magical tavern located inside the dungeon part of this underground city?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It
Okay,
does
gotcha.
make sense.
Gotcha.
It
It's a
makes sense.
dungeon built
makes
house.
sense.
Okay, gotcha. So
hey,
there's
it
likely
makes
lots.
sense.
Makes
There's lots of
Mhm.
lots of dungeon things going on all around you. Adventurers fighting through traps and beasts that have been set off against them, collecting loot and things like that. Just in the background, just in the distance. But
Just there. Yeah.
if you know where to look, they'll find your tavern. Interesting. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to have to inject into this for the story that's coming in today
Uh-oh.
is that you are nearby a college. So this is going to be a little interesting for us. How do you think we could incorporate a university or a college into the near vicinity of your dungeon?
University of Phoenix is basically a dungeon, so it works.
I was gonna say that. I'm from Phoenix, and there's a reason why it's everywhere.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the college is the
Is
dungeon.
in the dungeon, yes.
Yeah.
It is the dungeon.
is.
It's
so-
an adventure.
so-
It's a adventure.
It's like
college.
it's like the it's like the Mall of America, but for dungeons and higher education.
Yeah, there's actually two different forms of school at this adventure dungeon. There's the adventure dungeon, and then there's the monster dungeon.
Yeah. You
So
don't.
that's like the monster university and the adventurers university. Their rivalry, and so ours is just right in the middle.
Yep. And there are
Neutral
tunnels that
ground.
led them out both sides of the tunnels. So like they're like, oh, you got your diplomas, and they'll lead them out the other side. So they're just separated on the other side of the building. They have to kind of go through. This is a great idea. Bonsai.
I like this. This is a good world. I like
Bonsai
this
Noir.
world.
This is great.
Yeah,
This is a great.
yeah,
bar.
makes sense.
Let's
Makes
open up
sense.
this real
Makes
bar
sense.
in real life.
All right. So now that we've decided that we are a magical tavern, and we're located in between these like two worlds, the world of the adventurers learning to dungeon on their own in this section, and the monsters learning to dungeon on their own in that section, keeping adventurers out, keeping monsters out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of turmoil that's happening while you're just like stuck in the middle of all of that. We need to figure out what's magical about your tavern. So I have two choices for you, and I think you're gonna love both of them.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to have a horde, or rather a conclave, or perhaps a harem of magical
It's
servants?
a family show.
We.
I don't mean that kind of harem.
I
just
saw an
mean like a
anime
collection
like
of
that
people.
before.
I just mean a collection of. Okay. Do you want a group of magical servants to help you with day-to-day tasks?
I feel uncomfortable with that.
Well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should change your way of thinking and turn it into something that's family friendly. Or do you want a smart house?
Okay.
One that can respond to your voices and can, much like in a famous, a very famous Latin, or Hispanic rather, movie from Pixar that we've all seen very recently.
Would this smart house involve us not talking about Bruno? Because if that's the
Oh!
case, I refuse.
That
That
was the kind of
question
smart
only
house.
you can-
I was thinking of the Disney Channel original movie starring Katie Sagal as the smart house.
The
She
one
was-
who
it was
goes
a-
crazy.
Yeah, like the house that like starts turning on everyone because it's basically just a.
She
What if,
loves
okay,
the dad.
okay. So what if it is a smart house, but it's like the smart house is a ghost?
Yeah.
Does the ghost let me talk about Bruno? I have lots of thoughts about Bruno.
Like a ghost house.
It doesn't let you talk about Bruno, but it will let you talk about all other John Leguizamo roles.
So like the house is possessed by a ghost.
Yes.
I would say the tavern. Yeah, the tavern would be possessed by the ghost.
Sorry.
Tavern is.
yes.
No, I'm just
Thank
trying to.
you for correcting me.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Just try not to break the illusion.
Okay, Marcus. Thank you for
Keep it going.
helping us keep the illusion.
love you.
Okay. So we have
Makes
established
sense.
that this magical tavern is inhabited by a ghost
Mhm.
who can
Katie.
respond to your. I'm sorry,
Katie.
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 The ghost
Oh, is
name
it?
Katie.
It's like Monster House then. This is like Monster House.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah. So Katie.
I somehow we combined Magical Tavern and Haunted Hotel into one. You found a way.
Much like life, we found a way.
The best of both worlds. Congratulations. Okay, so we've got the Smart Tavern, Kate, which is located between two magical colleges of adventuring and monsters, which happen to just be dungeons. And you are you have a tavern pet, and you have two choices. This pet can either be a hungry piglet that eats all of the trash or refuse that you want to get rid of. This is a magical piglet with a pocket dimension inside its stomach, so it can eat any amounts of food at any size. I already see that Bonza has a question. I'm going to ask you to hold on for 1 second. I will answer your question in just a second. Or do you want to have a what is a creature that has cat features and dragon features? A cat with wings. What is that called?
Cat dragon. Cat dragon.
Cat dragon. Okay, cool. You want to have a cat dragon.
A drat.
That just hangs out in your tavern. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Don't interact with it much, but it's there, and sometimes it gets into a little bit of mischief.
I reject the binary. I want a badger, a shapeshifter badger.
I was gonna suggest gelatinous cube.
Wow. Okay, so many options. This is not what I planned for at all.
Reject the binary.
Okay.
We have a gelatinous cat dragon.
So now your new options are gelatinous cube.
Well, it could still be a pig gelatinous cube.
A gelatinous pig. Or do you want to have this? What was it, Nor?
A badger that shapeshifts into anything that.
A shapeshifter
really at once.
Just a shape-shifting badger. Okay, so
yeah,
you have to choose one.
I respectfully decline to vote on this one.
Okay.
If you get the reference of what I'm referring to, you and I should be friends.
No, I honestly don't.
I know you. It's fine. Like, but if you know, you know.
Okay. I hope somebody in chat gets it. Marcus, I was hoping you would be the tiebreaker here.
So I have to choose between a gelatinous cube or a badger?
Yes, but we all have to agree.
If it makes anybody feel any better, the badger's name is Chunt.
So I think we're gonna go with the gelatinous cube.
Okay. So we have a gelatinous what now, Bonsai?
What?
What is this gelatinous creature?
Well, it was the same mechanics as a pig. Instead of a pig, it's a cube instead.
It's a jelly pig.
Yeah, it's just like a pig, except it's a gelatinous cube. Javion, come on.
Can we just okay? I'm gonna simplify here.
Gelatinous pig.
You could. Okay, it sounds like you really want a gelatinous pig. I'm gonna let you have a gelatinous pig.
Can we shapeshift?
I was trying to simplify.
It shapeshifts. It's a shape-shifty gelatinous.
No, I'm drawing the line. You can't keep adding things on.
I like the idea of the cat dragon. Let's go with the cat dragon.
Yeah, cat dragon.
No.
But right now it's shapeshifted to a gelatinous pig.
All right, you know what? I am this close to just revoking the pet altogether because we do not have time for this mayhem. Okay, so we are getting a gelatinous cube.
Mm-hmm.
Is your pet is not shaped as a pig? But you can call it whatever you want.
Call it pig. Named pig.
You can call it pig. Okay, cool.
In my eyes, I always see it for the pig it wants to be.
The gelatinous cube's name is Pig. Great. We have our tavern. We have a regular at this tavern. This regular comes by the tavern all the time. You all know them very, very well. His name is Jones. He is sort of a crotchety old man, another retired adventurer like yourselves. Much like Jones, Marcus, your character, is also a regular at this tavern. You've got your special drink that you love to order, and it's named after your character. We'll get to all the character introductions in a second. And typically, your patrons are college students and sentient monsters who can cohabitate with one another, somehow not fighting each other. So the types of foods, the types of drinks that you all serve, think about who your audience is, what kinds of things you would serve to college students, what kinds of things you would serve to sentient beasts and the intersection between those things. All right. I think now we can definitely go into some character introductions. I already gave you a little bit of teaser about Marcus's character. So, Marcus, I'm going to let you start us off. Tell us a bunch of things. I want you to tell us your character's name, their heritage, what they look like, and just the first most important thing about them that you want to share.
So make sure to lead with the secrets. Okay. So my name is Marcus, and I'm going to be playing a character named Toddy. Toddy's a puka, which is a small, kind of little nerdy humanoid-looking rabbit with rat features, rabbit ears, rat tail, and glasses. As Javion said, frequents this tavern to the point where there is a drink named after it. Is a carrot juice and vodka-esque, carrot juice and mead. It's a weird one, but it's exactly what Toddy needs after a long day. So if you got some questions about Toddy, I'll answer them. What's Toddy? Scrunchy. What is Toddy? Spry. What does Toddy do? Tinker. What does Toddy also do? Gadgeteering. And as far as proficiencies, Toddy is very handy.
All right. Well, Marcus, I love your character's idea, love their concept. I think they're going to fit perfectly into this world. And your tavern trade, you are a tavern patron. Is that
Frequent
correct?
patron, correct.
Yes. You frequent the bar so often that you don't really... You get paid for your maintenance skills once in a while, but you're not actually full-time.
Yeah, just give me shots of carrot juice and I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. Bonsai, would you like to tell us about your character?
Hello. Yes, I am a, I go by Rosie. I don't mention my last name because I have problems with my last name. We don't have to mention. Cherry Bottom. Cherry Bottom is my last name. Rosie Cherry Bottom. So yeah, I have it's been a long time. I've been around the block before. I've had to deal with dungeons and traps on both sides of being whatever. Being of course a high stature dwarf. I can definitely keep this line intact, and I feel like the most thing that people need is just a drink and an ear to listen.
Excellent. Thank you, Bonsai. You all might remember, Bonsai's character from the last time we played Tiny Dungeon. This is, that character is now retired and is now working at this tavern with everyone else. And we're happy to have you. All right. And finally, but not least, Noir, would you like to introduce your character once again?
I'm Carl. I'm a Carhu.
What's a Carhu?
I'm a bear.
You're a bear.
I'm a bear guy.
Mm-hmm.
I bounce for the bar. And my life has been ruined by my ex-wife.
That's right. Yep.
She took everything from me. And with the little bit that I had left, I bounced in this bar. I'm very sad.
Is that skill that you developed over time, or is that just?
I mean, I'm pretty good at it now.
Yeah.
He's banned for life, by the way, from this place.
I'm sorry. Do you want my traits?
Yes, please.
I'm a bar fighter because this rage inside, I have to let it out. It means any object can be an improvised weapon. I'm unflappable. Attempts to manipulate my emotions never work unless I decide they do, because Rebecca played all the games with my heart. I think I've seen them all coming now. I've got great strength. Whenever I attempt something with brute force, I test with advantage. It took a lot of strength not to be broken in half by Rebecca and her lawyers. They took my son, and then there's Tough. You can sustain up to 4 minor injuries or 2 major injuries without becoming incapacitated, but that doesn't talk about emotional injuries. I can only take so many of those, and Rebecca has found my limits. Oh, my proficiencies. Would you like that now? Would that make you happy?
Yeah, what's your areas of expertise? And one
Oh,
of these is going to be your mastery, something you're extra.
right. So I'm proficient at bouncing, but my mastery is in performing.
Performance. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Would you like to hear a number?
Sure, yeah. I'm sure we'd all love it.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Noir.
Hurt in my heart.
We are all so happy to see your character making a return. You all are going to do great. One more time, just so everybody. One more time, just so everybody at home knows for sure. Starting with Marcus, then Bonsai, then Noir. What is your tavern trade, Marcus?
I'm Toddy, and I'm a frequent patron.
And Rosie.
I am the bartender.
And you wish to be called a bartender.
Yeah, or tavern. Actually, you know what? It's a very gender proficient. I don't know why, even though I'm the bartender, they keep calling me tavern wench, but I will take it. So they call me tavern wench.
Okay, gotcha. You are a bartender who is frequently called the tavern wench. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, and Carl.
I am depressed.
You are depressed. Is that your job?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm bankrupt. No, I'm the bouncer.
The bouncer. Okay, yes, that's right. Okay, cool. So, let me introduce you, or rather reintroduce all of you, to the tavern owner, Slurpee. Everybody remembers Slurpee the Salamar. Slurpee likes to blow darts. He's always burping. He's a total pyromaniac.
I mean,
he's
he
always
did have the money for the bar. He had the most money out of all of us, so
yeah,
makes sense.
He created the tavern once it was known that they needed some place for the college students and the monsters to convene. Took up the mantle and invited you all to join him. And now here you all are, all in one happy place together. Now, before we move on to the meat of the game, we need to talk about our safety discussion.
Yes.
So, for those of you who have played a lot of RPGs before, maybe you've come across a safety discussion before. But really, this is all about things that we are comfortable with and things that we're not comfortable with. What tools I have in my toolkit include being able to sort of fade to black a scene that we don't want to happen any longer. And we also have what is called the X card. Now, for this, all I want from y'all is to just do a big X like that with your arms. Marcus, thank you for the demonstration. Basically, you're just going to do that anytime you're like, nope, I don't like that. That's going somewhere I don't want it to go. Or we're talking about something I don't want to talk about it anymore. You don't have to actually tell me what's bothering you. You don't have to have a long-winded discussion about why you're not okay with what's happening. We are all going to understand, but we all need to respect the boundaries wherever they may lie. And we're going to fade to black. Whatever scene's going on, imagine a curtain falling down, the scene fading to black, and we open on a new scene after that has concluded. Does anybody have any more questions about our safety discussion? All right. Then that means we're going to jump in to episode 1. During these episodes, we have several scenes. We're only going to do one episode today. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get you guys a little bit started. But most of this whole episode, most of every scene is going to be driven by y'all. I'm going to call on you to help me tell this story. And if ever I need to simulate the randomness that occurs in daily life, or if ever there's an obstacle that you have a chance of not overcoming, at failing at, if there's even a chance, I'm going to have you roll a test. So for those who haven't tuned in to the Tiny Dungeon 2d6 demonstration, this is basically the meat and potatoes of Tiny Tavern. You're going to roll 2 dice, 2 6-sided dice. If you ever get a 5 or a 6, that's a success. So when you roll 2d6, you don't need to tell me all the numbers that you rolled. You just need to tell me success or fail, and you'll know you succeeded. You rolled 1 or 2 5s or 6s. Very, very simple and very straightforward. We don't have stats. We don't have classes. We don't have a bunch of saving throw ability checks and things like that. It's just 2d6, hope for the best. And maybe you can use some of your skills, your traits, your proficiencies to help you with these things. There are 2 things that we need to add on here. Advantage, which is just giving you an extra die to roll. So typically you roll a test with 2d6. When you have advantage, you roll 3 dice. And again, if you roll any 5s or 6s, it's a success. If you don't roll any 5s or 6s, that's a fail. Plain and simple. Focus is a new addition to Tiny Taverns. In this game, focus just means that you only need to roll a 4, 5, or 6. So it's a 50-50 instead of a 1 in 3 chance of success. There are certain abilities and traits that give you focus. These things are not given out very freely. They're typically, specifically when you have a firm grasp on the task that you're trying to accomplish or the obstacle you're trying to overcome. Oh, and then also we have what are called complications. Complications arise, you may have heard of these kinds of things in systems like Powered by the Apocalypse. Oh, excuse me. Wherein if you roll a 1 ever, it'll either make your successes better or your failures more complicated. For instance, let's say I rolled a 1 and a 6. That means I succeed, but with a complication. Things get even better. I don't just succeed, I succeed with flying colors, and something cool extra happens, and I'll let you know what that is, or maybe I'll ask you to help me decide what that is. But if you fail to get a 5 or a 6 on your test, that means you failed, and you rolled a 1, that means, well, you don't just fail, things are going to get a little bit more complicated. They're going to get a little bit hairier, and you never know what's going to happen. You might have a second obstacle on top of the one you've already got to overcome. Oh, and finally, we have one last thing called Fortune. Fortune is also a new addition in Tiny Taverns. This is just kind of like inspiration in D&D 5e. It is a specific, what's the word I'm looking for? Point of confidence that you can apply to other people playing the game. If you want to use a point of fortune, all you have to do is say, I'm using a point of fortune. And you can either adjust the story to your will to either help you change the story so that it fits your idea of how the story would go in that situation, or you can spend fortune to help negate somebody else's disadvantage. Disadvantage is just when you roll 1d6 instead of 2. We've got advantage, where you roll 3 dice, you get an extra one, and disadvantage, where you're at a disadvantage. You only roll 1 die and hope for the best, and hope you don't roll a 1. And somebody can use a point of fortune to help somebody else do better in their game. Since we are still in the tavern creation phase, if you all can come up with a good tavern name together, and if that tavern name just so happens to be a pun, I will give all 3 of you 1 point of fortune. You got a lot of material to work with, a lot of inspiration to work with. Talk it out, brainstorm it out, see if you can come up with anything good.
Well, we're technically where the sun don't shine.
I like it. I like it.
it's you know.
What do you think, Javion?
If that is what you want to call your your tavern.
To find
I
us,
am perfectly fine with.
it's in between the legs of a statue. That's how you enter.
That's the gateway. That's like
That's
the
the
portal
gateway.
space, the negative space that you have to pass through to get. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
There you go. Where the sun don't shine.
Where the sun don't shine.
That's why it's like if you know, you know. It's like you have to actually like it's a little riddle to get to the coolest bar in this dungeon college.
It's
place.
your tavern. You get to name it.
Damn right.
That's
it is.
what you would like to go with.
It's kind of a punish thing.
Great.
Well, someone's being punished for sure. Yes.
All right. Where the
Anybody else?
sun don't shine. Each of you starts with 1 point of
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Bonsai.
You can have up to 2 points of fortune at any given time, and I will give you more fortune if I think you're doing a great job role-playing cooperatively, storytelling with the other players. All right, let's get started with this episode. I'm going to take you all into your first scene. I'm going to paint the picture for you. So, it is an underground tavern, meaning you don't know what time it is most of the time. However, you do have a little clock on the wall, and it has just stricken 11 a.m. Here's what you know about the day to come. There are 2 big groups that have reserved large tables at your tavern. These groups make up the 2 factions in the colleges that surround you at this tavern. The South End Snakes and the North End Badgers will be arriving very, very soon. They're coming at 4 p.m. and they're going to stay all night long. As it turns out, they've got their Rumble Ball, I wouldn't say tournament, but rather skirmish, one of their exhibition matches earlier today.
Okay.
And once it's over, they're going to be looking for a place to relax, unwind, and have some healthy competition. And your tavern was the place they chose to do it at. Congratulations. It's going to bring you lots of money. It's going to bring a lot of business. And it might be a great time to get the word out about your tavern. Oh, I should also mention that there's a food critic coming to your tavern.
What?
Mm-hmm. You don't know who they are, but at some point, a food critic will arrive at the tavern. They will ask for, well, a full flight of your menu, and after they have discerned whether or not the cuisine is to their liking, the establishment is functioning in a safe and healthy manner, they will write a review for you. And they will put it in the paper for the entire city of Amber to know how many stars you got for your tavern. And this will directly impact your future. One of the buy-ins of a campaign like this is each of you has a vested interest in the tavern doing well. Even Todd, who is just coming here frequently. You come here so often that whether or not the tavern does well impacts whether or not you're going to be able to come here in the future as well. So that's what we know going into this first scene. The clock has just stricken 11 a.m. and here's the task you all need to accomplish. You need to make preparations for dinner today. That means keeping anybody who tries to come in out, putting up a sign or something to keep any travelers from coming into the tavern while you make these preparations until 4 p.m. And that also means cleaning the place up for the critic who's coming later, preparing the food, preparing the drinks, making sure that Pig is well fed and doesn't get too restless. There's a lot of tasks that need to get accomplished in this scene. I'm going to now throw it to the 3 of you, and it's time for you to tell me, what are you doing?
So there is a fan kind of like, spinning that usually spins to kind of keep the tavern like reasonably cool. That kind of slow spinning fan. It's currently, Toddy is kind of hanging from it by his legs and is fiddling with a little gadget. He wants to try to make some kind of air freshener. I think to make sure that the review comes in, you get this nice waft of smell. You can't smell that smell. Pig has got some interesting odors because it kind of like. Have you ever smelled a dead snail? Because that's what pig smells like. We wanna keep that out of the thing. So Toddy's got his little goggles on and is just hanging down there with his little rat tail, little rabbit ears, just like.
Hey, Toddy.
Yeah.
Be careful with that. It's our only fan.
Oh no. That's what you should have named the tavern.
You should have bought the subscription. Got a new fan every month.
I never hear it.
Okay.
So Toddy hops down from
Toddy.
it and make sure it's not falling.
It sounds like you're attempting to make a new gadget.
Yes.
Something.
Either
So-
Tinker or Gadgeteer, and I'm not really sure which one that. I think Gadgeteer is the kind of one that might fit because it create gadgets or improve items. So there's
Yeah.
Tinkerer.
Yeah.
So that's
it's
focus.
always up to you to decide which one.
Ooh.
So if you are doing Gadgeteer, that's the one where you're inventing a new thing with whatever's around you.
Mhm.
Tinkerer is typically used for pulling something. Sorry, no, it's the opposite of it, isn't it? Which one's-
I was actually reading them both, and they have. They're not particularly that different. You always keep a cache of gadgets on your person ready to solve any problem, but you can produce one, suspend one to produce a tool per session, while Tinkerer is to create and improve items that already exist.
Think of Tinkerer as inventing. Think of Gadgeteer as pulling something random out of your pocket that's perfect for the situation.
So this is definitely a Tinkerer situation. So yes, Toddy is using Tinkerer to try to make a some kind of air freshener
Excellent.
for the
All right.
stinky restaurant.
Go ahead and make a test with focus. So you only need a 4, 5, or 6 on all your dice.
And that's 3d6, correct?
You roll 2d6.
2d6. And what did I need again?
Just need a 4, 5, or 6.
I got 6.
Success. Great. If you roll any ones, I just need to know if there's a complication.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can
this
just
is-
tell me success or fail
Success.
or success complication, that kind of thing. Okay, cool. All right. So, you create an air freshener. What do you use to make it?
Oh, I grabbed. There were some parts from the fan up there that I just kind of. They didn't appear to be in use, so I grabbed a few of those. A few hinges that were lying around, and So Toddy did mean to ask. Bonsai, what's your character's name again? Sorry.
Oh, Rosie.
Bonsai wanted to ask Rosie because Rosie is the most frequent in the space. What Rosie thinks would be a good smell for this, like of all of the things that we have in the back. Would Toddy make a scent out of this?
I have some fruits that we have because we do mixed drinks every now and then. For Misery Loves Company Mondays. That's when everyone who's broken up single in a bad. It's more for like helping with Rebecca problems and stuff. But it's just everybody vents on Misery Loves Company Monday, and we just have a lot of like drinks and watch ice cream, or eat ice cream and watch sad movies, and then people lament on stage, and everybody goes, "They weren't good enough for you."
So I actually like this idea. Gonna use the magical essence of ice cream that we keep in the back.
Yeah, there you go.
So it will smell like an ice cream factory, which is I think where you make ice cream at.
Yes.
Is there an ice cream foreman? Does the spaghetti factory have a foreman? I'm getting off topic.
Okay.
So yes, it's an ice cream. It's an ice cream air freshener. Yeah, just a little.
It smells like sweetness.
Yes, just like a nice like swirl cone of smells.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, the scent wafts through the whole tavern. You actually hear the tavern breathing it in, and the floorboards sort of lifting up one by one, and then slowly decompressing. And you know the tavern is actually very happy with this.
You like that, Katie?
Yeah.
What's everyone else doing?
I mean, no, Noir, you want to go first?
I'm being surly by the door, and the smell of fresh ice cream's got me thinking about things, and I'll start muttering to myself because it reminds me of a certain day of the week where I get to say certain things out loud that I try to keep inside most of the time because
But it's cathartic.
people
While
can
you're
always-
standing out there, Carl,
yeah, what's going
two
on?
pixies approach the tavern. It looks like they are coming from the north end, so they're coming from
Yeah.
the College of Adventurers, and it looks like they are having a great time. They're laughing. They're like slapping each other playfully, and they come up to the tavern and they attempt to go inside.
Excuse me, I'm gonna need to see your scrolls.
Excuse me, what scrolls? What are you talking about?
I gotta make sure that you're authorized to come in here. Gotta make sure that you're allowed to drink.
I am actually a very frequent attendee at this bar, and my father actually happens to be the college professor. You might have heard of him, Fizzlewith. Yeah.
I didn't
So
ask
you're
you
gonna
all
let
that. No, you gonna show me your scroll. Yeah, that's because that's what bartenders do. I stand out here. I ask you to show me your scrolls. You show me your scroll. I let you inside.
Okay. I want to speak to your manager.
I am not emotionally in a place to handle this kind of conflict right now. Show me your scrolls.
All right. It sounds like you are trying to get the pixies to leave without having to call the manager.
I think he's trying to intimidate them into just showing the scrolls.
Just doing
All right.
the damn thing.
Go ahead and make a test. If any of your proficiencies apply here, you can roll with advantage.
I'm gonna say bouncing. Bouncing. This is
Perfect.
bouncing.
Go for it.
You got this, sad Carl.
Carl. Pixies got nothing in you.
That's a 1, a 5, and a
Did you
3.
just start crying?
All right. So this is a success with a complication. All right. So here's.
Oh, I forgot 5
okay.
successes.
Yeah, 5 success. You're good. Okay. So the pixies, they hear you mention something that really touches them, like to their core. What is that? What do you mention that really like stops them in their tracks?
Listen, I don't have the emotional capacity to fight with you right now because all of my energy, my heart, and my strength has been stolen from me by a harpy that I married named Rebecca. So you can either show me your scroll and I let you inside and you can have a good night, I can have a good night, or you cannot show me your scroll and then I have to take you and your friend and throw you as far as I can from this establishment. And I don't want to do that.
Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry. I had no idea you're going through a breakup. I'm actually going through a breakup too. I'm so sorry. I know how hard it can be losing your loved one. You know, your partner.
Your
They've
heart
been with
broken
you for, like,
and you
the
just
longest-
gotta keep going day to day.
I'm so sorry. We don't actually have scrolls. I had no idea. Why don't we'll go get one? Where do we get one? How do we get a scroll?
Just go to the administrator and show proof of your age and then they'll give you the scroll.
Okay, thanks. I don't know what he said, but we should just go. And the two of them, they fly off together back where they came. All right, so congratulations, you've cleared out the front area. Nobody's going to be coming to the bar until it's time to open for the private party. Anything else you all want to do to prepare?
I'm gonna go ahead use my fleety footness to decorate one side of the bar in the badger colors and one side of the bar in the snake colors, and then we're gonna have 2 separate tip jars, right?
Oh,
2 separate tip jars.
I like this. This is competitive tipping. I appreciate this.
Competitive tipping.
Okay,
And
so you're just
yeah.
hanging banners. No problem. That's super
Hanging
easy to do. And you're what'd you say? Fleet?
Fleet. I'm very fleet, so I can do tasks a little bit faster than other.
Great.
Maybe
yeah.
help with a little bit of Katie can tell me which one would aesthetically please it better. Katie, which one?
Actually shifts the paintings that are hung up on the wall and separates them to each side. One of them is depicting a knight charging into a castle with a pike in one hand, and another one is a serene, calm beachfront at night with a starry, moony sky painted above it. And those to diverge, giving you the perfect spot to hang any banners that you would like. And are you hanging what banners are you hanging actually?
The like whatever, like I'm sure some of our patrons like left some like flags at one or another thing, so it's just like the various different high school or the college.
You probably prepared in advance to get those flags.
There's also like
from the group organizer.
Whatever colors, splash the colors. And then also with my mixology proficiency, I will put on the bar menu with the different color sections of themed drinks towards that animal for the different patrons.
That's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
There's themed drinks.
Yes.
We'll probably figure out what they're called or what's inside them later on. We don't need to do that for now. You already know what they are. It sounds like you all have done a great job preparing for the coming of the two colleges. However, there's a little bit of a conundrum. Nobody checked on Pig, and you can hear some rumbling coming from the basement of the tavern, and the whole house is shaking. And Katie actually makes some of the chandeliers sag just a little bit and dim just a little bit more. You can tell that's how you know Katie's sad.
Oh no.
What are you all gonna do?
Wrong? What's wrong? Do you guys know what's up with Katie? What's up with Katie?
Let's see.
You do hear rumbling coming from under the floorboards.
You just Toddy you just hear Pig, and Toddy just runs to I guess downstairs. So runs down the stairs to just try to go check on Pig.
Pig has been hopping from side to side all over the room.
Splosh.
There is residue being left all over his pen, and you can actually hear the rumbling. He actually spits out a tricycle right onto the ground. It's all covered in goo and it's corroded right at your feet.
So sorry about that, Pig. We forgot to feed you. Don't worry. We'll get you something right away, Pig. Just reaches into Toddy just reaches into his pockets and has like a few various items that just kind of tosses into Pig, just so Pig has something to fill the stomach for a little bit.
Excellent. So you just toss some random.
Oh, you're hungry. Just kind of
give me a test. Let's see if if Pig likes your offering.
So okay, so this is a test. This is so now I just have to get a success.
Yeah, I'll use a 5 or 6.
It's a 6 and a 1.
That's awesome. That is another success with a complication, making your success even better. Okay, so here's what happens, and I'm gonna play off you a little bit. You want to help me out here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Pig accepts the items and starts munching and starts undulating, just like he usually does. And eventually, he actually spits something out, something that you had lost a couple of days ago. It's actually a glass case with a withering rose inside it, and it rolls across the ground and bumps at your toes. Probably some item that you picked up while adventuring in your past, or maybe it was an heirloom given to you by a family friend or something like that.
Toddy quickly looks around and just picks it up and pockets it real quick.
Okay, gotcha. So now you have this back in your possession once again, and Pig makes a sound of like remorse. He sort of rumbles a little bit sadly, like.
Toddy, what was up down there?
Oh, Pig was just really hungry. Do you have any more food for Pig?
Oh yeah. What is it? Oh, darn it, Nora. What's your character's name again?
Sad Carl.
Carl, but I'm used to being forgotten.
Carl, where's the scraps again for Pig? Do you know where they are?
Sure. He just goes to the lost and found.
Just whatever. I mean, that's if you were trying to feed a gelatinous cube, just pulling things from the bars lost and found will probably do that. Like, I am now, I never thought about this before, but I do like the idea of just like, oh yeah, I have stuff in my pockets that I don't need. Here, take this and digest this in the meantime.
Yeah.
There's a couple of wallets, a couple of scrolls, a sword or two, and I think that might be an orb of destruction. Here you go.
Thank you. It's like big, just a giant box. It's like double the size of Toddy, and just Toddy just kind of sits there and like starts dropping it in one by one.
Pig is he doesn't have eyes, but he seems like he's like opening his jaws, kind of. There's like a small like hole for you to like throw it into, and it like closes back up.
Yeah, he's
as soon
opening
as
his
you
holes.
toss
Yeah.
all the items in there, and he just chomps on them very, very happily, very satisfied. I think that is going to end this scene, and we're going to move on to the next one.
Just a gentle air pet, because I don't think you can pet a gelatinous cube. But just like a gentle, like kind of just slightly above. There.
It's like wafting. You waft it.
Yeah.
Adorable. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next scene. The clock spins a few times. Sorry. And you see the hour slowly tick from 11 a.m. all the way to 3:55 p.m. And there are hungry college students and monsters at your door. You can see out the window that the cave is filled with monsters and humanoids who are all in a big, mixed together, but they're all wearing their school colors. The South End snakes are wearing green, and the North End badgers are wearing red. And they are yelling at each other. They're very angry, they're very rowdy, and they're getting more and more excited.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't do anything, they're either going to end up hurting each other, ruining the reputation of the bar, or even just ending the night, meaning that you guys don't get any business.
Well, there's one thing that I know, and if there's one thing that Toddy knows, it's that the thing that can really bring people together is using a point of fortune to produce a tool once per scene, gadgeteering. Because at this point, Toddy's just like almost getting trampled by the people coming in the door. They're fighting. Toddy's a little smaller, so just kind of like very, very hectic. So Toddy gets up on the stage, which the bar has, and pulls out a karaoke machine.
Oh.
One of those ones that has to have those two microphones attached to the side, so they have to be near each other to sing it. So it's really all about camaraderie, teamsmanship, and not messing up our bar.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So what? How do you think the folks outside would respond to this? What do you think their initial reaction might be?
Well, so they were really arguing inside. So they were, really, really fussy, really, 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 messy. So once the thing is on the stage, they can't see it in there all the way. So I hand Carl a sign outside the door, a sign that says, "Now serving karaoke," with like backwards letters and just kind of crudely written. Just like, "Hey, Carl, hang this up out there. Hang this up out there, please."
Okay.
I think this is a great idea, and I also love the cooperation. Toddy, I'm going to give you 1 point of fortune for that.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Do I get anything for being a great cooperator?
You accepted the sign. Great work. I think you're on the right track. Keep it up. No fortune just yet. I think it was it was definitely Toddy's idea, but yeah, no, you're doing great. You're doing great.
I know,
Don't use this as a measurement of your
don't pity me.
quality as a.
To go with the karaoke theme, I'm gonna ask Katie to change the lights to like nice disco and black light, so no one can tell the color difference.
Excellent.
No, the black light will
yes.
show my tears. It's just streams of tears down his fur.
People could see that you're
Oh,
crying.
Carl, I'm sorry.
And, some people are actually a little freaked out. They're a little uncomfortable seeing how sad the bouncer is, and they're like, "Oh God, he's gonna let us in." I don't know.
Right.
But the lights do dim, and they are now black light. So now the entire room, you can see all of the grime, all the dirt, all of the residue on different things.
People like that though. It's a
Yeah, it's
But
decoration.
Also, as do you guys let the students in?
I do have one. I think we should, but I do have one caveat. If they are feeling bad about Carl, I would like to use one of our handy bar tools that we do just have lying around here for instances like this. We put like a funny mask or a funny hat on Carl, so people are just like, oh, look at this guy. He's partying. He's having a great time. Like one of those like masks with the mustaches and the big glasses so you can't see his tears. Those kind of things. Anything really that Carl wants, we have. Based on his mood, I want to make sure we have it's like the Carl box, just kind of outside the door.
Carl, what's your response to that?
I mean, it's the same as it always is. This is just something that's happening, and I'm here for it.
It's a little hard to hear you speak up a little bit.
I said it's the same as it always is. It's just something that's happening, and I'm here for it.
You just let it
And
happen.
at that point, you just see the glasses like slide on. I put the nose with the glasses and the mustache over Carl. There you go. And then I'm assuming that everyone's like, oh, this guy's great. Yeah.
Cool. When
It
you
hides
all
the heartbreak.
the clock strikes 4 p.m. What do y'all do?
Can I tidy up the really bad spots in the black light that looks really bad really quick before they lit it?
Give me a test.
Okay. Is that 3d6, correct?
Yeah. You'll have advantage for being a tavern wench.
Tavern wench, yes.
Cleaning is something you're very good at.
All right, so I got a 6, a 4, and a 1.
Okay, that's good. So I'm not sure what the laughter was for. Hopefully you're just laughing in joy because you succeeded so well. But you got a complication and a success, which means something a little bit extra good happened. So while you're cleaning up, while you're doing all of these things, you spot out of the corner of your eye one person standing by the window, and you think you recognize them. You've seen them before. They're actually a journalist for the weekly newspaper that goes around the Amber.
Ooh.
Yeah, this
Ooh.
is a Selkie man. He is a very important figure. You're not sure why he's with all the other college students. Maybe he's trying to, maybe he's reporting on the situation as it unfolds or something like that.
Hey, what's his name though?
His name is. Let me pull it up. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Crimsby Westchestershire the Third.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Is that Crimsby Westchesterton the Third, the Selkie
guess.
food reviewer?
Sure, whatever.
Oh no!
Oh. Okay, so they came in.
What do we do?
Now
I'll-
4:01, and the college students are freaking out. They're like
We're
banging on the door. They're trying to make it in. They say it's
well,
time to let us
open.
in. What's going
Hold
on?
on, don't worry. I'll take care of this.
Okay.
And I'd like to go to the door, open it, and just go, settle down!
Give me a test here. I don't know how the college students are gonna like that. Let's see.
How'd they get in? How did they get in?
I'm gonna use bouncer for the additional.
Excellent. Go for it.
That is, and I'm not kidding, 3 6s.
What?
Well done. Well done. So that's just a straight up success.
They
The
all
college
call
students.
Used your teacher voice.
Yeah, they
There's
all
your
call their
teacher
parents and
voice
tell them
with
that they love them after this. Like that's some powerful rolling.
That's a very
They all quiet down. The mood starts to simmer just a little bit. A couple of them are passing a rumble ball back and forth. You know, a rumble ball is really just one of these orbs that has been like carved out in the center of and filled with this magical goo that when it hardens, it actually makes the ball glow. This phosphorescent white glow to it, and they're just like tossing it back and forth. They don't really care that the bouncer's like yelling at them. They're just like having a good time. Some of the monsters are doing the very same thing. So you know that this is just Bradley College students being themselves. They pile in. Eventually, they sort of overrun you, Carl. There are a little too many of them all at once trying to get past you, and they're just like pushing just to all get in. Eventually, they all make it inside. There's about 12 on each side. They're all wearing their shirts for their college. That's pretty standard. And your regular that you know is always around. Jones comes in. Crimsby is there. A couple of other strays are there. So the bar is now packed. You're at full capacity. If you let anybody else in, you risk a fire hazard or cramping and things like that. What are you gonna say?
I'm waiting for a particular somebody to come into the
I know.
bar tonight.
I know. Don't worry. I didn't forget.
Are they here?
Do you want to make a test to try to look sift through the crowd to see. who's
Yeah,
on.
I'll do that.
Oh no.
I'll do that. Okay, that is a 6 and a 3.
Okay. So you're safe. You're good. They're not here. You don't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah, it's good.
They're nowhere
It's
around.
good. I like that.
Your ex is far, far away from here. Rebecca can no longer hurt you. And nobody else that you might be looking for is around either.
Oh no, I didn't even know Rebecca might have been coming.
Thankfully, she's not. She's not here.
Yeah, that adds new fear to my heart. Thank you for that.
Don't worry, she's not here.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's inside now. What are you gonna say, Rosie?
I am going in and filling as much orders as possible using my endemic memory.
Ah, okay, cool. So you just go around and you're taking orders and you just commit it all to memory. However, when you're doing that, a lot of the college students, they don't believe you. They don't think you actually can remember all of this stuff. In fact, they're a little upset that you're not writing it down.
Ooh, okay. So they regularly challenge me. I have it all set up at the bar too to even do this big show of like just suddenly with my fleet footness and endemic memory, I just go ahead and just like, as soon as I get the orders and I'll just be like, here's the real show. And then basically just get all those drinks as soon as possible. And then kind of use Katie's help to like magic the drinks to where they need to be.
Excellent.
And I shout it out. It's a show. It's a show that we're gonna do. And then also because they're such good helpers, Carl is also getting they're special treats as well while I do this flair and show. And I have also the hottie toddy special going on today. It's a hot carrot juice for it's called the hottie toddy.
Excellent. Okay, so there's a round of hottie toddies that go all over the table, and people are excited to see them in their little solo cup shot glasses. A couple of the monsters from one side of the tavern go up onto the stage, and they start singing karaoke. The song that they decide to sing, you recognize because Carl was actually singing it earlier. And Carl, how does this affect you? The song that you were singing earlier, I believe it was "I Will Always Love You."
Nights I'm all out of love.
That's the one.
So lost without you.
They're singing this as a duet. The song that's actually has no two parts, but they're singing it together. And they look like they're like hugging and singing together and swaying back and forth. How does Carl react to that?
I think he's just going to put his hand on the closest person next to him and look them straight to the eye. And almost in a cryptic voice, just go, well, cryptic with a certainty that is very uncomfortable. Just say, "Love, is it real?"
Oh,
Do you interrupt their performance to do that?
Yes.
You come up on stage, and while they're singing, the song's playing in the background, and they just look over at you. This is just like a mini dinosaur, like a raptor. Actually, yeah, a pair of them singing together. They're like,
"Love, is it real?" Yeah.
Okay, everybody, let's just
get the chance.
Everybody, just calm down.
Build a foundation of a life with you.
You, Rosie, Toddy, you both see Westchestershire is furiously scribbling something down and shaking their head.
So Toddy then hops up on the nearest table and starts applauding. Oh my gosh, that is an excellent scene from your one-man play. We're thinking about doing an immersive theater project in our tavern. This is just a free demo of what we'll be doing. Thank you. And looks over at the reviewers like,
okay, give me a test. Let's see if everybody's buying this.
Oh.
Okay.
Is there any way I could aid that?
6 and 5.
Oh, never mind, I guess.
All right. Yeah, that's a success. So Toddy, the crowd is all like, oh, okay, and you see Westchestershire is just like, he's like a little skeptical, but he starts erasing something on his pad of paper.
Next up on the karaoke, we have Globdor. So, Globdor, would you get up here and sing us a hymn? Just let that go.
Globdor is a hobgoblin from the Badgers side, and it's just like, and comes up and starts singing a rap song that you haven't heard in a long time. Just like a very old school hip hop song, and he goes, hip up, I want to start again, start it all over again. Anyway,
I have to play the Humpty Hump for him.
Yeah, right. So over at the bar, while you guys are not paying attention to what's happening with the college students, but like listening to Toddy, a bunch of the college students from both sides have set up a beer pong tournament.
Jeez.
They are frenziedly tossing ping pong balls onto the tables and into the cups of the hottie toddies that they've been ordering all night long. And it's getting a little messy. Things are getting a little bit heated. And eventually, they are getting down to the wire. You actually catch them doing this while they're at like the very tail end, where it's like one person has like one more shot to make. However, I said his name is Chester, right?
Yes.
Grimsby.
Like
Grimsby is watching, very kind of like confused with one hand on his chin, just like sort of like, not really sure if this is appropriate for a tavern to be allowing.
Do I see this Grimsby guy like looking at us?
Oh yeah,
mad,
absolutely.
I'm gonna walk over to him.
Okay.
So you see, Toddy just looks over at Rosie and just like.
All right. What do you do when you approach?
Oh God, I'm gonna kind of shuffle a little bit closer.
All right. Hold on a second.
Right.
Everybody stop.
All right.
We are going to enter initiative.
Oh no!
This is the point in time where I think it would require very, very particular order of operations, because anything could happen at this point.
Fair.
So what I'm going to have you all do is you're going to roll 2 dice each. The higher the roll, the sooner you'll go in the initiative.
Right.
And I will keep track of your initiative. I, as Grimsby, will decide when Grimsby will go. I'm not going to roll.
I got a 9.
A 9?
6.
A 6? And a 5. Carl, you are first.
God.
So, Carl, you have 2 actions that you can make. You can do a lot of other, low action cost things, low energy cost things, low effort, in between those things. But you can only take 2 actions, and then your turn's over, okay?
Okay. Is he sitting at like a booth or a table or something?
He's sitting right at the bar. He's actually got a seat at the bar. He's not at a table.
I'm gonna grab the seat next to him, and if there is no,
are you here to bring me my food? I've been ravished. I've only been offered drinks so far.
I'm not here to bring you your stuff.
Excuse me? Do you know who I am? I am Grimsby Westchestershire the Third.
I don't care. I'm Carl. This bar is real important to me. And it's important to my friends. And apparently you're like a big deal or something, right?
Well, yes, I am the premier journalist of this fine city that we find ourselves in, although I can't say the same standards are held at this, what do you call it? A tavern? Ugh.
I don't like this Crimsley guy.
Yeah, my wife took everything that I had. and the pennies, the scraps I was allowed to keep, I invested in this tavern. So when I tell you that this tavern is all I have left, I need you to know that I mean it. And if for whatever reason this tavern was taken away from me, I would have nothing left to keep me from finding the cause of losing my tavern and ripping whatever took it away from me to pieces and snorting whatever's left. So
Okay.
If you want to get free brace, Crimsley.
Go ahead and roll a test here. I'm gonna say you have a disadvantage on this. Because you are I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, trying to intimidate this journalist.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I argue to use great strength? Because I think he's at the bar grabbing the bar.
No. This is all the strength of your words and nothing else. You just roll with disadvantage here.
All right, so that means I just roll one dice there, right?
However, if somebody wants to give you a point of fortune, they can negate that disadvantage for you.
I would love to offer a point of fortune. I have an extra one if you want one. Would you care for one, Carl?
I would love it. I would love that.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna offer mine if you didn't get it.
You have we're watching. You have a
Ooh.
regular test, normal test. What'd you get?
That is a 2 and a 6.
A 2 and a 6. Okay. The journalist says, I guess. Is that a threat, my friend?
I've had such strained relations these last couple of years. I don't know anymore. I don't think that was a threat. But if I were to threaten you, I think it would go a little something like this.
What's happening?
He's gonna lean over real close, almost directly into this guy's ear and go, if you're the cause of me losing this bar, I will find everything that you love and I will tear it apart and I will make you watch.
Okay. So let's see here. Grimsby looks at you.
Oh my
His
God.
eyes dark and vacant and says,
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left. She took everything from me.
okay. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm how do I you weren't supposed to find out that I was Brody. I was just supposed to be here on official business. That's why I went with a fake name. I'm so sorry. Found out. That wasn't meant. It was just supposed to be a nice. I'm so sorry. I
Oh.
can tell you found out.
You're.
Okay, stop.
That's
So-
his turn. That's his turn.
Next in that turn order, we're going to go to Toddy. Toddy, you see that Grimsby is slowly trying to make it out of the tavern, is being backed away by Carl, who is stomping angrily towards him.
So Toddy is somehow got wrangled into taking down people's notes for which karaoke songs they want to do next. So he just passes the book off to someone else and runs over. I'm gonna hey Carl, hi. Hello, Mr. Crimsley.
Nah.
Grimsby.
Oh, Mr. Crimsby, hi. Thanks for joining us. Have you met Carl?
Yes, I believe Carl and I have had just about enough chatter for one day, and I think I should be going now.
Oh, before you go, um, and then just Toddy freezes and has nothing else. He's like, just looks over at Rosie.
Could I use my fortune to say that I prepared something?
Yes,
really quick.
Absolutely.
So it's actually something that isn't towards the person, right? I actually have been noticing that Carl's been not feeling so great lately and been extra bad. So we actually had a surprise of his favorite meals and everything prepared for him, and his brother coming in a visit, coming in to give him some emotional support. So we had a big surprise that we're gonna go ahead and do, and I'm gonna ring the bell so it blocks the person from going out, and it's gonna be a surprise for Carl.
I like the party button. You press the party button, then all the windows
the
and doors
button.
seal.
Katie and I had this whole setup because we noticed that Carl's been having a hard time.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah.
My friend.
So Carl, does this calm Carl down? Is it enough to fan? Oh, sorry, douse the flames.
Would you like me to roll? I could even use my fortune quest.
No, I think this is great. You use the fortune. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, that's my fortune. I'm gonna do the surprise, Carl.
I'm gonna say on an odd, he's good. On an even.
Okay, letting the dice decide.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's your brother, but
it's a 6.
Oh no.
He just
he's still angry
right now. Bro.
So at this, seeing that nothing has really affected Carl in a positive way, Toddy was really thinking that this might do it. This is like after how hard Rosie and Katie
we really
worked
tried.
This. They worked so hard at this, and I was like, oh, absolutely, this will be it.
You stole my wife.
Toddy backs up kind of away, pulls the little rose from his finger, presses his finger up to it, just a little bit of blood, and just drops one drop on the rose and whispers the words, "Arise."
Okay, so as you are towering over, you're this huge bear over Crimsby, who is like tripped over at this point. Everybody is now watching what's happening. They're like, fight, 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 fight. Off in just a couple of feet away, you start to hear the sound of groans, sort of like a crooning sound, like. It's like the sound that's getting louder and louder. The black light, all of it turns red. Katie is not okay. The entire bar has gone completely silent except for the sound, and everything stops, and you all turn your attention over to the rose that seems to have been like absorbing sort of like the life force from the blood that Toddy had fed it, and now the rose, as petals start to fall away from it, you realize that there's something growing out of it. The rose is growing bigger and bigger, and this beady, like sort of black-eyed imp sort of emerges from the flower, sort of just crawls their way out of it and pulls themselves out, and the flower just withers and dies and shrivels to nothing on the ground, whereas the imp, covered in this like translucent sort of slime, this goop, just like slinks up, opens its eyes, wipes the gunk out of its eyes, and like sort of shakes a little bit, and this is like very skittish, very skittery, not really sure what's going on.
We have karaoke over there. There's some drinks over there and some food around if you're interested.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
The imp is jumps backwards from you as you speak to it, not really understanding what you're saying, but it's moving around, twitching a little bit. The college students are like, "Whoa, what's that? Oh, gross! Yeah, get rid of it! Get rid of it!" One of the Rumble Ball players has grabbed actually one of their clubs that's got the snake symbol on it, and they are winding up, getting ready to whack it. What are you guys doing?
No, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. This is just a friend. A friend. We are really, really, really drunk. Really drunk. They're really, really drunk. And that's why we're cutting them off. Looks over at the reviewer. We're cutting them off because they're so drunk.
Grimsby has snuck away. while all of this is happening, Grimsby is just gone.
I'm trying to calm down Katie and see what's going on. Katie, it's okay. I'm up by a wall.
Here, why don't you're singing up next. Why don't you take what's your name? Take him over there.
The imp flaps its little wings, flies into the air, and actually snatches up one of the bar patrons. One of the college students grabs them and lifts them up into the air. And is now flying around with them.
Do they think it smells good up there though?
It smells
because
great.
that's where the air freshener was. Good.
Everybody's super into the smell. I mean, it's as fresh as a daisy in here.
So Toddy goes to look at Rosie and is just like,
all right, it's time for this special show. Let me have the microphone. Book. And then spotlight on Carl. And then I need a hero. Going up for a hero to the bucket.
Okay.
Gotta be Carl.
Katie helps you out.
Gotta be a bear. And it's
All the lights
really
shine directly
sad.
on Carl. Carl's just like shed with like spotlight. Nobody knows what's going on with the imp anymore.
It's still flying
on
around.
Carl. And then there's another spotlight on the imp
It's
too.
gesturing as the show. It's the karaoke show.
Now everybody's watching, just like these
It's the
two.
show.
Carl, what are you doing?
Gonna roar as soon as he loses sight of Brody, and then when the spotlight comes on him, he's still growling and drooling with hate slop, and then he just goes, I need a hero.
And the whole crowd, even the guy being carried by the imp is like, ooh, ooh.
Everybody is chiming in. They're like your backup singers, your backing vocals.
They got the chorus and the hype. Da, 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 da.
And they're clapping along to the rhythm, and they're not going too fast like the people usually do. They're not speeding up overly doing. No, they're perfectly on time somehow. It's perfect. And
Go, Carl.
at this point, Slurpee comes out from the back and is just like, "What are you doing?" And he just shoots a fireball over at the imp, and it hits them both. The imp drops whoever they were carrying, and they fall down at your feet, Toddy. And the lights come back on, and people are starting to feel a little bit more like, "Wow, okay." And there's a commotion. People are starting to get riled up, but they kind of just start cheering after a while.
Immersive theater.
Like,
They didn't know.
Everybody applause for our hero, Carl.
You managed to distract them all from what was going on. Grimsby is nowhere in sight. Okay, so we're going to skip to the next scene here, and this is going to be the final scene of tonight, and we're going to be real short on it. So you're all sitting around as the Smart Tavern is cleaning itself up for the most part, letting all of the stuff that you toss off the tables onto the ground, letting it seep through the floorboards and into the basement where Pig is there to eat all of it.
Oh, please.
And Slurpee is pinching the bridge of his nose as he sits at the bar, and he's just like,
Look at all the tips
"What
we got. Look at that.
happened?"
We had a pretty successful, I think, overall night. We introduced karaoke and immersive theater elements to the tavern. It seemed to be mixed with the audience initially, but overall, it seems that they were receptive. Plus, we made a lot of tips.
Yeah.
Well, I had a great time. Jones is actually still here. He's been sitting at the bar this whole time.
Jonesy!
He hasn't eaten a single thing. He hasn't had a single sip of anything to drink. Everything's been too chaotic, dizzy. Most of everybody else got served except for him. He's just like, I was actually going to tell you that you got 1 star as your review, but after that whole thing at the end there, well, I had no idea I was here for theater. Jones reveals himself to actually be the critic.
Jonesy!
You were here. You've been a regular this whole time.
Oh my gosh, Jones!
I got hired by a local guard watch person. They said since I'm going here all the time, I'd give